Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of M365 Voice. We are live from Dallas, Texas at the TechCon 365 recording with two lovely MVPs that we never see each other often enough.
We never see each other often enough.
So,
We do a lot, but not often enough.
in person. In person. So, yes, welcome. My name is Mike Marani.
I am Sarah Haase.
And I'm Antonio Mayo.
And I love Antonio. As soon as we started recording, he got into the position, and it's a serious position. So I'm going to echo it out here. We're going to get into the position where we really mean business about whatever we're talking about. So what are we going to talk about? We thought we'd talk about Copilot and the way that the three of us use Copilot professionally and personally. And I love these conversations because we never agree. And sometimes it leads to throwdowns.
Maybe Copilot will bring that bridge together closer.
I don't think that there's any way to unify that bridge.
I think it more leads to bickering, but the bickering is fun.
We love that.
We laugh at the bickering.
Not really. Okay. So Mike, why don't you start us off with some of your favorite ways to use Copilot? Let's start with maybe for work.
For work.
And sorry, before you do, we're talking about M365 Copilot.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's put it.
Although you could designate something as Copilot chat. But let's start with M365 Copilot, the full
version, full license version. My favorite one is the Teams recap. Often, and I say that loud, and I'm not proud of it, that sometimes I get distracted in Teams meetings.
No.
No. It's bad. Whether an email pops up or something I'm doing and I'm talking to some in a Teams meeting or someone else is talking.
A commercial break.
We're taking a commercial break, a long commercial break. But
I think that happens to all of us, though, getting distracted.
So the distractions, sometimes you're like, oh, I missed something. I was doing something else. So I rely either while in the meeting to just do a recap what's happening or afterwards. I do a recap of the meeting, anything, the action items that is taking place and it was mentioned during the meeting. So it's really, really helpful. And I use it when I do the description of our podcasts.
That's cool.
I do.
Okay.
So we record the podcast in a Teams meeting recording.
Correct.
And so you use Copilot to be able to generate a description, and that's what you use when you post the videos?
Specifically, we sometimes we record so many episodes, and it's if I have to publish an episode that's a month old, I'm like, what exactly did we talk about? So I do a recap.
He hangs on every word we say.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things that I really love about the way Microsoft implemented this is as long as you turn Copilot on in the Teams meeting, the Copilot chat experience that each individual has, not everyone can see what you're asking Copilot.
Exactly.
So I like the fact that I can go in and say, what did Mike say? Because I don't ever listen to what Mike says, but that one might have been important. So I can go and say, what did Mike say? And it'll tell me, but then nobody else knows that I had to ask Copilot what Mike said.
Copilot listens to me more than you do listen to me.
That's a fact.
Apparently. Yeah, I don't really use the Teams transcript or meeting transcript feature that way. Mostly because I'm just better at paying attention. But no, just kidding. I end up on so many meetings and everyone turns transcription on, and there are so many Teams transcripts and recaps that it's hard for me. It's hard to go back to it because there are so many. So from knowing what we do, and I'm talking about work meetings specifically, I still take paper notes. I still write down notes on paper. Oh yeah, my notebook is just over there. And I still take lots of notes on paper because it helps me to remember. And it forces me to pay attention. But that's just me. I'm not saying the feature isn't useful. I do think it is. I just haven't used it a lot. I know a lot of other people that do.
So something happened on this episode that almost never happens. You have Mike and I agreeing on how we use the functionality, and Antonio's out here.
Opposite, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that never happens.
I thought it's constructive.
Yeah.
I use, so it has taken me a while to find the right things that make Copilot helpful to me. Okay. And some examples for me are when and this is just recent, preparing for a client presentation. And I want to put in some nice graphics
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, I've gone and I've searched the internet. I've looked at free photo sites. I've actually had a subscription to a photo site to a few times so that I can purchase photos. And that always takes time to find the right photo.
A lot of time.
So lately, I've started to use Copilot to generate a photo with this, with this, and with this. And most recently, it was with a traffic light. I just needed a photo with red, yellow, and green traffic lights. And so I've started to use it for that to generate photos for me to spruce up a presentation. And it's surprisingly good at that.
It does really well.
Yeah, it does really, really well at that. And because it's a slide presentation, the resolution it creates are perfect for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've used it to create icons as part of like smart art in a PowerPoint slide. If you want to generate a custom icon that isn't in the icon library, you can use Copilot to create an icon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talking about PowerPoint, I just actually, about 3 weeks ago, I did say similar things. I was supposed to give a training to an organization on SharePoint, the difference between SharePoint and OneDrive. And I didn't realize when I proposed it that I was going to give like some introduction about it. And the introduction usually with PowerPoint. Mm-hmm. And I was reading the actual agenda. I'm like, oh man, I'm supposed to create a PowerPoint and I don't have a PowerPoint. That was 15 minutes before the training started.
Oh, wow.
It's like, let's try that with Copilot. So I knew I had the content because I delivered that content before, but it's like, I didn't have time to kind of take it from different presentations and put it in one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I asked Copilot to do it for me, and it did. And then it created like, I think 16 or 18 slides. And I had to go, this one is not relevant. I don't like this. I'm going to just change it a bit. It took me about 10 minutes to create a presentation with some good graphics. So it saved the day.
Did the presentation actually turn out looking nice based on what?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because my previous experience with Copilot in PowerPoint was the slides didn't look great.
It's improved.
Okay, I'm going to try that again.
A lot, and I do have like a template. Now you can use a template specifically from the organizational template.
So you can use the
point it at the template?
You point out the template when you do the prompting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's cool.
And then you say, I have created whatever, use those slides or use those files, and then actually did create everything for me. And then it took me about 10 minutes just to So it saved the day for me.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to try that again.
One of the ways that I like to use Copilot is to be able to help me out with summarizing key things that have happened. So I often need to provide weekly executive reporting, and I want it to be both qualitative and quantitative. Yeah. So I want to have describe things that we've done in the business value that they added, but also include quantitative numbers. So I will oftentimes ask Copilot to generate my top 5 of what my team has delivered this week and add metrics and analytics about why it was valuable. So it'll go through meeting and Copilot meeting notes, emails, files, Teams chat, everything, and it'll give me a list. And it actually does that really well. And then you can add in further prompts to be able to clarify from there. So that's one way that I've been using it lately. It's great for your self-appraisal at the end of the year. And it's the end of the year for many of us. Yeah. And so it is performance review season. So don't forget Copilot for your performance reviews.
That's a great point.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the PowerPoint thing. I think an important point that highlights is these Copilots are changing significantly over time. Microsoft's doing a ton of work on them. So if something didn't work at some point that you tried a while ago, definitely try it again because the solution's getting better at various things. So something to remember.
One thing I always present, and I got that from you, when prompting with Copilot, and you're not getting, you know that the data is there. You're not getting the response that you think is the right response. You say, try harder.
Try harder.
And it works.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I've been wanting to say that to you for years. Try harder. Mike, try harder.
Now, to give credit where credit's due, I got that try harder from Chris McNulty.
Oh, you did? Okay. So, Chris, you pass it to Antonio,
pass it to me. It wasn't paid to your partner and spouse. Can you try harder? Pack it up and try again. Let's redo the last 2 minutes. Oh, I bet that'd go well.
That would go over well.
I'm gonna tell her to skip this episode.
I love the try harder. The other thing that I love using is the so when you're on vacation or you're coming back from leave, and I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I absolutely love the summarize capability within Copilot to be able to look through an email conversation thread, click on summarize in Copilot and Outlook, and it'll summarize what's been happening in that thread and make it easier for you to be able to take in all of that data. And something that you two are going to be shocked by sometimes I can come off a little sharpish or inappropriate in my work email.
Really?
Sometimes I'm a little too direct. Sometimes I need to soften the message a little bit. And I am not great at doing that, but Copilot can help me take an email that I will write and help just make it a little bit softer, a little bit nicer, round off some of the edges, especially on those emails that we write when maybe we're not at our happiest moments.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Actually,
to adjust tone.
Yeah, I've tried it, not many times, but I should try more, especially at night when you're really tired and you try to compose an email. And it does help soften the tone a lot.
Yeah. It does.
I have used it to get me started on documents that I have to write that are hard. I don't know if I've said this on a podcast before, but I'm very good at working in interrupt mode, where I get interrupted 1,000 times a day on things. I'm very good at focusing on a particular task for 3-4 hours, writing a document that's complicated and long. I have a very difficult time switching between the two. And often when I'm working in interrupt mode for, let's say, a morning, and suddenly I have to switch to focusing on a document, it's really, really hard to switch the brain to do that. So using Copilot just to get me started on the document really helps me to get into the mode of, okay, now I've got a framework I can start writing. Start writing. So for me, that's helped quite a bit.
Same thing. Sometimes, again, you're busy all day, and then you have to write some documentation, and you have to have deliverables, and that you're tired. Your thoughts are scattered everywhere. So it does really help to start actually the documentation. You can pick up and continue.
Yeah, exactly.
And Copilot, I love using it, Copilot, to be able to create new SharePoint pages and news articles. But then I also use Copilot, even when I've drafted one, to be able to have the design ideas. Have you all used that? That they now have integrated design ideas. So when you're editing a SharePoint page or a news article, just like PowerPoint gives you design ideas, your SharePoint pages, you can use design ideas, and you can use Copilot to rewrite sections. But when you look at a design idea, I was using this yesterday, and it took some block chunks of text and it relayed it out with images and circular shapes and everything, made it so much more pleasing with a much nicer background that made it more accessible and easy to read. And all it took was one click, and it does all the formatting for you.
Love it.
That's cool.
I haven't used it, but I know about it. Yes, it's awesome.
Back to your summarization point. I will occasionally, this is a common use case that you hear about, use Copilot to, summarize my week for me at the end of the week.
Yes.
I have done that, but I've prompted, summarize my last week in the style of comedy roast.
I have done that, and
that's
a great way to celebrate the end of the week.
Yeah, I use that for two purposes. One, it gives me a laugh at the end of the week, but then I actually post that to my internal team sometimes in order to them see what my week was like and give it to them in the context of something funny.
I like that.
So I once, and I can look up and include it when we post this, but I once got a recommendation from someone at Microsoft for a very specific kind of Copilot prompt that would ask you would ask Copilot to basically go and look for a certain period of time, the last month, the last 6 months, and rate my performance as a friend and mentor who's going to give me very authentic feedback about what I have done well and what I haven't done well.
That's a great idea.
And it drafted like a page or a page and a half, and it was on point. And you need to make sure that you are ready to read what it tells you, because it is on point, and it literally tells you need to invest more time in these relationships, and you need to be less concerned about doing work. In my case, it was telling me you need to be better at delegating. Stop taking on too many tasks yourself and start supporting and enabling your team to do more of them. I'm
going to definitely try that.
Yeah, I got to try that, especially as kind of whenever we get to the end of a year. I like to spend some time and reflect on the previous year. So I'm going to try that and make sure it's at a time when I'm ready for that feedback.
Yeah. So personally, I have a good one. I don't know if I've talked about it but I did a blog post about it. I don't know if you all saw my blog post. They know, I hate packing. How much do I hate packing?
You did mention this. Yeah.
I hate packing so much, and I travel so much, and I hate packing so much. And now that, I don't have younger kids at home, they used to do my packing. Like, here, give them $10 and they'd pack my suitcase. Got to do it myself now. And while Copilot can't pack my suitcase for me, I actually used Copilot to organize and create a very detailed packing list because I did a trip to Scotland for 12 days with a carry-on suitcase and a small day backpack. That's it. And assuming that I wasn't going to do laundry on the trip, tell me exactly how many socks, how many shirts, long sleeved, here are the cities I'm staying in, check the weather, and tell me exactly how many items to pack that will fit inside a carry-on suitcase.
Was that a long prompt?
No, it's like 3-4 sentences.
Okay.
And frankly, it took me about 10-15 minutes to add in all of the details and to go back and forth with the prompts a little bit, spit out a packing list. I followed it exactly.
That's
down
cool.
to the shoes I should pack, and it worked great.
Colors as well, or no colors?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It gave me ideas on colors.
So you told it where you were going, how
The
long you were
cities I
going
was
for.
going to be there, how many nights in each city. And I also had it spit out, and Copilot asked me, are you going to assume that you will do laundry or you won't do laundry on your trip? So I said, assume I won't do any laundry, gave me the list, and then it said, would you like me to provide laundromat service items near where you're staying just in case? And so then it printed out to me and gave me the numbers and whether they were 24-hour, whether they do pick up at my hotel.
That's cool.
It gave me all of that in Copilot, and I did a blog post about it, but literally I can use Copilot now to help me do my packing.
That's cool.
I love that.
If someone wanted the blog post, what's the blog?
Blog.splibrarian.com. Wow, that's a hard question. Or you can just go Sarah Hazy, Copilot, or Sarah Hazy in Scotland, and it'll come up. And it did a great job. So that's my personal win for the year on Copilot.
Really cool.
I'm gonna have to try that for my next trip.
Yes.
That sounds really good, actually.
Another favorite one is Excel for me, because I do some of the projects I do is migration, and migration is based, whatever you say, is based on Excel. There's a lot of formulas, and I never actually save many formulas, and I used to always hunt for formulas, and it's like, what did I do 6 months ago? So it's amazing, especially when you're using a lot like big Excel sheets, many Excels, you want to compare, you want to slice it up, you're going to just add things. It's just amazing.
That's cool.
Formulas in Excel just saves the day all the time.
For me, it's pivot tables in Excel. I do pivot tables a couple times a year.
That's a good idea.
I have to relearn how to do it every single time because I never remember.
Same thing.
Yeah. So I asked.
That would be great.
So, create a pivot table out of this table.
I can never learn pivot table. I'll do it and then I forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had a conversation over IM with a group yesterday about calculating analytics numbers and what percentage of this have we gotten done for this project. And I'm like, we could have just put the numbers into Copilot and asked Copilot to do the math.
Yeah.
We went back and forth, spent 10 minutes on that. I could have just asked Copilot.
Can I bring up an agent idea?
Sure.
So an agent that we're working on right now. So I work for a consulting company, as you both know. And new projects.
It's written on your shirt.
Yeah, fair. It's written on my shirt. New projects will come in and we'll have to figure out who do we staff on the project. And there's a number of variables that you look at for staffing, right? You look at people's availability, you look at their skill sets, certifications, their locations, all this kind of thing. So we're working on an agent right now where it can take the SOW, take that input, and output a potential staffing plan. So that's a recent idea that we've tried it manually in Copilot through, prompting, and it often takes several prompts and bringing in a bunch of data. It's okay, but we think it'll be more effective as an agent. So
let me ask you things about this then.
Yeah.
So it's all about the data, right? So you have the statement of work. You must have that resource in data source somewhere.
Correct. Yeah, we've got an internal system that we have everyone's staffing hours against.
Okay.
So we can output that for our team. We've got certifications and skill sets stored in another table.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Maybe we can talk about it more in another podcast.
I love how whenever we talk about Copilot and how we use it, you get so much better at it. And you come to events like this, or you talk to friends, you find out how they're using Copilot, and it just is amazing how much you can learn and grow in what you're looking to do.
Exactly. I love it. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Copilot says we're done.
Copilot says we're done. So yeah, thank you. If you have any Copilot experience, feel free to comment on this episodes and the YouTube channel. Would love to hear other people's stories and our audiences and how they use it.
I'm sure we'll come up with more prompts over time.
Probably, I'm sure we will. Well, thank you for attending, for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.